Hello and welcome to my channel Yoga with May, where we are all about helping you take back control of your life with purpose and meaning. This is day 3 of the 3-day challenge. I hope you've done the first 2 days. Let's get to our mats. Let's get straight into it. Going to begin in a seated position. We're just going to go through a little bit of grounding through meditation. So coming to any comfortable position, you can do a kneeling posture or cross-legged. And then we're just going to close the eyes and feel the length being created in your spine, allowing yourself to grow taller and trying to relax into the shoulders. So as you're growing taller, using the muscles running along the spine, you're also doing it with a sense of becoming relaxed. So soften your hands, soften your elbows, soften the shoulders. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathing in and out through the nasal passages helps us to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's nice to have that function. That's what the nose was made for, breathing. And then bringing all your awareness and attention to your breath. And slowly begin to lengthen that breath, taking a longer inhale and a more fuller exhale. Take a couple of rounds of deep breath and feel that breath expanding into your chest and moving down into the diaphragm, so allowing the belly to be soft so that you can expand the breath down into the diaphragm below the rib cage. You should feel your belly moving out and in. And then focusing your breath on that belly breathing, feeling the expansion in the front of the belly and also in the lower back. And then bringing your hands to heart center, drawing your chin down towards your chest, pressing the palms together, maybe setting an intention here for your practice. And then gently opening the eyes. And we're going to come into a S seat. So we're going to, if you're on a mat, you're going to have your feet on the edge of the mat. If you're not on a mat, you're going to take your feet just slightly wider than your hips. Flex the toes up, and we're going to take the knees across to the left side. So here we're looking for an L shape in both legs. So this is more of a Z. So I'm just going to extend my leg away from me, and I'm going to get the front leg, the leading leg in front of me, in line, the knee in line with your hip. And then you're going to rotate your chest towards that leg. You're going to have your hands on either side. If you need a block and you cannot reach the floor, you're going to have your hands on a block. And then we're going to lift the chest up, lift the heart up. Try to fold yourself forward over your leg. And then you're going to round your spine as you press into your hands and lift yourself back up again. So we're going to inhale on the forward fold. Look forward. When you get to as far as you can, you're going to round your back. Exhale, press up. You're going to do 2 more. Inhale, pull yourself forward through your hands. And exhale, round yourself up. Let's go for 1 more round. Inhale, forward, pull yourself forward. Flexing both feet. Exhale, round. And then we're going to take a twist towards the right hand side. So reaching as far as you can to grab your leg. And if you can get there, you're going to fold forward or backward. Fold backward. It's a forward fold to the back. Back over your leg. Okay. Make sure that you flex your toes whenever your knees are bent. This helps to not overstretch the legs. And then you're going to bring both knees up, back through the center, and we're going to switch over to the other side. Again, nice L, clean lines, okay? Nice clean lines. And then the knee in front of your hip. Flex your toe. And we don't want to overextend the ankle forward. We'd rather have the ankle lower down than taking the ankle further in front of the knee. So ankle and the knee in the same line. Fingers on either side. You're going to pull yourself forward in your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, round your back so you'll feel the rounding happening in the lower back as the tailbone presses down to lift the spine up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. So either fingertips, flat hands, it doesn't matter. As long as you feel that the action is drawing you forward when you fold forward and pressing into your hands to lift you up. And then we're going to rotate to the back and forward fold over the back leg. You can see the front leg wants to come up, so you're just going to use the hips mobility to keep it down. Take another deep breath in and exhale, release. Come back through the center. So we're just going to add a little bit of mobility. So you're going to have your hands behind you, not too far away to lean back, as close to your sit bones as possible. And you're also going to bring your feet as close as possible. And you're going to flex the toes up. And all we're going to do, so this time you're going to have a wider stance, a little bit wider than your hips. And you're going to drop your knees from side to side. This is just warming up the hip joints. So keeping the toes flexed up and finding a little bit mobility through your hips. So as you twist towards the left, you're going to bridge your right hip. So you're going to squeeze your right hip and drive it forward. Come back to center. Squeeze the left glute, and you'll feel it becomes very flat on the front of your hip. Back to center. So every time you do this, you're going to kick your hip forward. And try to stay on the same position. You might feel like, okay, you're beginning to walk forward, but stay grounded in your hands so that you can stay in the same place. So nice, straight, firm arms. And you take your knees as far as you can to one side. Come back to center. And then we're going to add a little bit more mobility. So you're going to base the left leg down. And then you're going to, so that hip joint is nice and open. And you're going to take the right foot and you're going to step the right foot. Or actually it's more of a slide. So you want to keep the right foot connected to the floor. That's the most important part. Most people try to step, but this is the challenge for you, is to actually slide your foot along the floor and see how far you can get. This is teaching you how much mobility is in your own hip. Okay? What is the range of motion and the strength? So we're going to go 3 times on one side, or 3 more. Sweeping across, you can have your hands behind you, and 1 more, and back to center. We'll go over to the other side. Nice wide opening on the right hip. Challenge yourself. See if you can keep your toe or your foot connected. This hand, you can see it's gotten quite wide, so I'm just bringing it closer. And breathe as normal. And then you can see how much mobility, how much strength you have in your hip. And then come back to center. So we're going to do the same thing again on the left side. So you're going to drop your left hip open. And this time you're going to shift your weight forward out of your hands. And you're going to use your foot and you're going to get it as far as possible. We're going to come into a seated twist. And then you can use your hand to take your foot around the leg. But I encourage you to be gentle because your hands can be very strong. So when you do move your body with your hands. Just be very mindful. Okay. And then you're going to make some space in your ankle, and you're going to bring that glute down to the floor, and you're going to hug the knee that's in front of you. You're going to hug it towards you. Okay, option one. Otherwise, you're going to take your left arm and wrap your left arm around your right leg. Elevate the spine and take a twist behind you, and you'll feel a beautiful, strong stretch running along the outside of your glutes. So if you are a total beginner or you're quite new to yoga, you might not even come this deep. Okay, you might be just like here. So the only thing that these positions are teaching you is how much work you have to do, where you're tight in your body. You may be able to do this perfectly, but then if you come to a forward fold, you might not be able to touch the floor. So we're all different body shapes, and we're all different. We've got different daily lives. So different exercises and stretches can impact us in a different way. Okay, opening the right leg, taking that foot across, and hugging this time the left leg in. Make sure that you've got space to bring your left hip down, and then the right arm. Okay. Make sure that you've got space to bring your left hip down, and the right arm is going to pull in. So I'm using the strength of my spine to elevate me. I'm feeling both hips. I want an equal weight in both hips, and then I'm going to take a twist behind me. And then option to flex both feet because my knees are bent. I'm just staying safe by keeping my toes lifted. Take a deep breath, exhale, twist. We'll take another one, deep breath, inhale. And use your neck. Engage your neck all the way as far as you can. And release. So I'm first bringing my chest back to the center, and then I'm coming back over with the legs. Well, let's go to butterfly pose. So you're going to base your feet together. Take your knees wide. I love this pose. And then you're going to walk your hands forward in front of you. So I'm trying to feel like a rainbow. I want to lift up, and then I want to pour my weight over forward so that I'm creating a long line in the front of my body. Again, toes are flexing apart, and I'm going to draw my chin towards my chest. Soften the fingers, the elbows. I'm allowing gravity to take hold of my inner thighs, to stretch them out. And this is a beautiful, restorative forward fold in the butterfly. A nice strong hip opener. A very gentle and calming pose. And then you can continue drawing your chin towards your chest. So you really want to lengthen out the back of the neck as you ground into your hips. And then slowly walking your hands back. You're going to bring your knees together, and we're going to go into our 4-point base. Coming onto our hands and our knees. And then just working through the spine with flexion and extension, but this time we are going to add a little bit of movement. So you're going to tuck your toes under, you're going to lift your hips up, and you're going to sit back towards your hips. So make sure your hands are square, hip distance apart. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. So here we're going to change the angle of the hips. We're going to tilt the pubic bone towards the navel. So we're shortening the space between the hip and the rib. And as you do that, you're going to round your spine up, driving your hips underneath you. You're going to shift your weight forward, shifting all the weight into your hands. And once your shoulders are moving past your wrists, you're going to lift the hips up, belly draws down, and you're going to shift your weight back to your heels. Round your back and shift your weight forward, looking through your legs or at your belly button. Once you've reached forward, lift your tailbone and sit back. We'll do more. rolling through the spine one at a time, one vertebra at a time, shifting forward, lifting the spine from the tailbone all the way to the neck, rounding forward. And then we'll stay here, pressing the floor away. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. We're just going to lift the knees for 5 seconds. Try to hold it. This is where you're going to build strength, and make sure you have a bend in your elbows. So your elbows are not completely straight. And release. Untuck the toes, push the hips back, and we'll go into child's pose. So either extended child's pose with the arms forward, or you're going to cross over the elbows. And then totally, again, surrender here. Just letting go. Just full release. Take a deep breath in and letting go. And then coming back up onto your hands. And we're going to just stretch out the hips, because now the hips are warm from the mobility stretch that we did. So we're going to take the left leg forward, rise up. So I've stepped my foot slightly further than my knee, because when I lunge forward, then my knee is going to be over my ankle. And that's the position I want you to be. I don't want your knee to be too far forward or too far back. So lunge the hips forward, interlace your hands. So option 1 is holding onto the elbows, and you literally want to squeeze your shoulder blades together, okay? Otherwise, you're interlacing your hands. I want to counter bad posture, sitting for too many hours, rounding your back forward, and drive your hips towards the ground. And then maybe there's a little bit of space to arch back, and then remember to engage the right glute. Squeeze your right glute. You can actually feel it lifting up, and then you can immediately feel a deeper opening. So when you do that, do it slowly, because it can be quite intense to feel the hip opening. And then release, place your hands down, shift your weight back. We're going to stretch out the hamstrings. So you're going to lift your foot up, so it's only the heel on the ground. Again, blocks, water bottles, books, anything stable. And then exhale, fold forward, draw your chin towards your chest. And again, I'm doing this sense of a rainbow. I'm trying to lengthen my front body as I fold over. Flex your toe, pull your toes towards you, and then make sure that the left hip is going back, and you're slightly externally rotating the left leg, because you don't want this leg to be too far forward. You want to pull the leg into the same line of your hip joint so that it's balanced, not one forward, one back. Shift your weight forward, press into the floor, release that hand, and we'll go over to the right hand side. So the right leg is going to step forward, rise up. Maybe your hands are on your hips, and then shift your weight forward and come into that beautiful lunge position on the other side. Again, engaging this time the left side glute, squeezing up. Option 1, whichever you did on one side, you'll do the same. So either you're holding onto your elbows, or you interlace your fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and take a little back bend. And you go as far as you can. If you can only go this deep, then go that deep. But you have to meet yourself where you are. Okay, you got to work with what you have. And in the beginning, for sure, you'll highlight what is tight, where you need to stretch, what you need to strengthen. Shift your weight back. Again, blocks underneath your hands here. And lift the toes. I'm pulling my toes towards me, and I'm also dropping the right hip. So the external rotation. You can see the foot is slightly rotating out, but I don't want it to rotate completely. It's just a slight dropping of the hip. And then draw your chin towards your chest. Take a deep breath in as you exhale and melt your body forward. And take another breath. Shift your weight forward. Step the leg back, and we're going to lay down. So you're going to bend your elbows, and you're going to bring your hips and your shoulders at the same time down. Okay? Don't let your belly drop before you do. Then take the right arm out to the side, right arm out to the right, fingers stand on the left side, left elbow up in the sky. Bend your left knee, and we're going to roll over to the right side. So we're going to roll onto our right side, and maybe you get the left foot behind you. I'm using my left hand to press into the floor and keep the left shoulder away from my ear. Expansive breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Return back to center. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to extend my left arm, fingers stand on the right side, bend my right leg, and roll up and over onto my left side. And then try to make sure that your hips are reaching forward. You're squeezing your glutes to drive your hips forward, so you don't have this crease in the hips. Okay, so the bottom leg is nice and straight, your head is relaxed, and the only thing that's working is the shoulder and the right leg pulling away from your ear. Take another deep breath and come back to center. You're going to interlace your hands behind you. Lift up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. I know this one is really challenging. Otherwise, you hold on to your elbows. One breath and exhale, release. You can come to crossing the elbows. We're going to go into a pose called Makrasana. So crossing the elbows, you're going to take your feet as wide as you can, and you're going to point your toes out to the side. And we're going to have our forehead down on the floor. And this is an easy way to breathe into your belly. There's the external rotation on the legs. Helps to switch the diaphragm muscles off from contracting. So it's easier to engage belly breathing. So as you take a deep breath here, you'll feel the expansion of the belly pressing against the floor. And you'll also feel the expansion of the breath moving into the lower back. So just the breath alone is going to help undulate the spine here, creating space between the vertebrae. And you can soften your feet, your ankles. Also very restorative, very grounding pose. Allowing you to just be totally present in the moment. And if you have your forehead on the floor or on your forearms, this forward pressure also is very relaxing. Helps to de-stress any tension in the face. And just become aware of the muscles in your face. See if you can relax your jaw, your cheekbones, the corners of the eyes, the ears. And also a nice position to open up the armpits. And just staying here for one more breath. And then pressing yourself up. I know sometimes it's not easy to lay on your belly. But try just for 5 breaths at a time. And then you're going to roll over onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And we will find our Shavasana. My favorite. But it's only my favorite after movement. If you just come into Shavasana, you don't get the benefit of like total release. You have to work for this this feeling in Shavasana. So just close your eyes. Feel any sensation in the arms and the legs. And take a deep breath in through the nose and out. Just enjoying the peace and serenity and trying to relax your body from the feet to your ankles, allowing that relaxation to move through the hips. Begin to make your way back to a seated posture, hopefully moving with the eyes closed. If not, you may realize that my clothing has changed. I had to stop the video at the end of the Shavasana. So I've just picked up at this moment. So just sitting quietly for a moment in your seated posture. Keep elevating through the crown of your head, staying present, remaining focused and relaxed. Take a few deep breaths into your belly, into your chest. And bringing your hands to heart center and bowing your chin towards your chest. Take a deep breath in together and gently opening the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed day 3 of the day 3 challenge. Well done, you did it. You made it to the end. I'm so proud of you. Look out for the next videos coming. We're going to make the challenges longer, more intense. So please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. And if you're looking for more than yoga and you'd like a little bit of coaching during your midlife or any transition that you're going through, please go check out my school community. It's called May Code, where we are exploring yoga, awareness, and meditation. And I also provide coaching for people going through these life transitions. So I'm so glad that you finished. Well done. And can't wait to share some more yoga tips, tools, and techniques with you.